Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a long-awaited, long-delayed episode of this podcast interviews you. This episode, of course, featuring the amazing and talented voice of Nagi, Miranda Parkin. You know the drill, we're not going to take up too much of your time with this intro. I just want to apologize for how late this upload was. There was some severe technical difficulties with this one, which means that you may hear some weird gaps in the audio or some weird cuts here or there. We apologize for that. These were unavoidable circumstances, and that's why this episode was late. Very quickly, just gonna thank our wonderful patrons for supporting this episode and every episode we do, including Brett Tendo, Slice of Delicious Life, Salty Dwayne, Kyle Turpey, Chris Tevendreska, Dark Dude, Saimacho Shipper, Shin Kojin, Zetaslow, RSB Willow, and Exilra. But enough of my raggedy voice, over to you, my friend.
Hello, all you crazy listeners. It's me, Miranda Parkin, the voice of Nagi in Neo The World Ends With You. You should definitely go play it. It's out on the PC now on the Epic Games Store. That's Epic Poggers. Anyway, we're talking about illustration, my music, and my current hyperfixations, and Ahmed and the rest of the team did such a stellar job with the questions. So please, take a listen. Have a listen to us now.
Guys, this is my first time recording live in like a month, so you're gonna have to bear with me more than usual. So prepare for that. However, enough about me and my holiday in the sun, because it is my honor and privilege to welcome you back to This Podcast Interviews You. That's right, we got original names out here. Original. We took the name of the podcast and we changed to, like, I mean, I'm just saying, it's illegal to be this good. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to be this creative in life. Before I ramble on much more, I feel like I shouldn't ramble because we're in the presence of greatness. And since we are in the presence of greatness, I feel like I should acknowledge that greatness as early and as soon as possible. So let's not waste any time, because not only do we have you know him, you love him, Osmaneku.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
You know her, you love her, Myra Zed.
Hello, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, as human beings, we have limitations and we have a select number of skills in this life. Our guest has defied that. She has decided that she wants to cheat and she wants to break the rules. She decided that, you know what, I'm gonna be talented in everything, actually. Forget this. Not only is she a brilliant voice actor, not only is she a brilliant drawer / illustrator, but now, newly a single and musical artist. Ladies and gentlemen, Miranda Parkin, voice of Nagi, welcome very much to This Podcast Interviews You.
Ahmed, before you pop off, our audio is broken again.
Yeah,
What did I do?
Come on,
what?
man.
What?
They can only hear Miranda.
They can only hear Miranda.
sorry.
Moral of the story is, Miranda, welcome to the show. As you can see, we're professionals here.
I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you for agreeing.
Yeah,
to
we're
come
all
on.
professionals. Yeah,
Yep,
I am
exactly.
definitely a professional recording on my shitty mic in my garage.
It's fine.
I'm so
The best place to record
Yes.
when it's boiling hot outside.
better.
Yep.
I'm literally in the same place. I'm in my whisper booth in my garage. Where
Oh, it's in your garage? How are you not sweating right now?
I am freezing. It is so cold. It is so cold here. The garage is very dark and very cold. I am really cold. I'm actually debating getting a blanket. I am
Oh.
so cold.
Doing the blanket trick where you cover your mic and your head with your blanket inside of your whisper booth.
Oh, that's happened to me before. I've been
Oh,
on
Lord.
vacation. I've been on vacation and I've had to like put like pillows around me and like, do a little seance and like pray that it works,
And
Like
pray there's no bouncing your feedback in the middle of it.
exactly. And then like I move like my mouth for like 2 seconds and then boom, all the pillows fall down and I'm like, no, I have to start again. It's like the fall of Babylon. I'm like dying, crying, trying to get this one take for like Taco Bell or whatever the hell it is out.
Well, I appreciate you suffering for the art. It's
Oh yeah, my pleasure.
uh,
That's my job.
so,
Suffer for the art, always.
Literally, I love it though. I would not trade my multiple professions for the world. I love it so much.
You're very
It's like my
consistent,
favorite
yeah.
thing to do.
Like this is,
Literally.
I mean, that's what we're gonna discuss today, right? Because we
Oh, yeah.
have so basically what the plan is today, since you are so extremely, incredibly multi-talented.
Oh.
The plan is to we're gonna talk a little bit about you, and about what you're working on, and about your different talents and what you've been doing outside of TWEWY, and then we're gonna sort of get into the more specific TWEWY stuff and how that came about, and when it was like voice Nagi and all that kind of thing. And then we
Oh, hell
have
yeah.
questions from our patrons, and then we have questions from Twitter, and of course we have questions from the wonderful viewers of Amadeus here. So if you guys have any questions for Miranda, do post them in chat.
Hell yeah,
And,
put them in there.
The wonderful Agent Random will be in there ready and putting your questions in a list for us, and we'll go through them soon. Before we just get started, I want to thank Miranda again, because again, this is a big moment. I believe Miranda was the first voice actor that agreed to come on the podcast. It's just because of scheduling. She says just so happened to be second to come on, but I really do appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, so let's just get started, I guess. There's no time like the present. I've already wasted enough time with technical difficulties. So I guess so like how I see it, and from what I've looked at, the three sort of main areas where you've been working on a lot is obviously voice acting, as well as your sort of art, illustration, and animation work and projects, as well as now more recently your music. So let's start off by talking about the voice acting first. And I guess the first and most obvious question is, talk to me about how sort of how you got started in acting, and what got you to do it, and how you got started. What were the early days of Miranda Parkin's in Miranda Parkin in voice acting?
Man. No, it's cool. Dang. I've always grown up around it. It's my dad is a voice actor, and he's been a voice actor for 25, almost 30 years now. He did radio before that. He did radio in Dallas, and it was always so cool, like hearing his stories about what concerts he got to go to. And he started out doing radio, so obviously he has a great voice, and he was, able to think on his feet and, do bits and stuff. And he's always been a funny dude. So naturally, he moved to LA and started at ICM, which is now ICM is one of the top voiceover agencies in LA. And then ICM turned into DPN, which is the agency that I'm at now. But what he would do is he would take me in when I was really small, like baby in a stroller, like freaking baby Bjorn. And then all these other amazing voice actors would watch me and stuff while he would go in and record. He's a single dad, and I would just kind of hang out around there. And by the time I got to be able to read at about 5 or 6, I loved reading stories out loud in funny, silly voices. So they were like, hey, do you want to come in and read this piece of paper? And I'm just like, yes, I do. Hell yeah. I mean, I didn't say hell yeah because I was 5, but
No, you can tell the truth. You said hell yeah at 5 years old.
Little 5-year-old, like hell yeah. But yeah, no, seriously, I was really excited, and they took really great care of me, and they were just like, yeah, just have fun and read this, and we'll tell you how it goes. And I did a couple of commercials when I was 6, 7, and 8. And then I was up for the voice of Lucy in a direct-to-DVD Peanuts movie. I was up for that, and then my mom was like, no, I'm not going to take you to the callback or anything, and I'm not going to let you do voiceover, and I want you to have a childhood. So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of love and hate her for that. Yeah, it definitely benefited me. I didn't have to work, but it was also really fun for me. I loved it, and I was really sad that I didn't get to do it. So I just kind of grew up around voiceover, and in the time where I wasn't doing voiceover from the ages of 8 to around 16, I actors, Billy West, Maurice LaMarche, Tara Strong, Carlos Alazraqui, every freaking person that you could imagine was just always around me. So they've all like known me since I was very little. And then when I was 16, I went to go live with my dad. And the first thing that I wanted to do was start back up voiceover again. And now I've been in the union for about 3 years.
I mean, that's just a testament to how passionate you were about it. I mean, like I can kind of understand like where your mother was coming from. I can see both sides of the coin, but like
yeah, both sides of the story for sure.
But like that's super cool. And like I'd say like definitely just being around that environment from being so young just like totally helps you get in the right mindset and have you sort of the right attitude towards voice acting.
Yeah, it kind of demystified it for me. Like, obviously, it's still so special to me, and I still love doing it. It's so magical to get in the booth and record. But I feel like if I had gone into it without knowing anything about it, I would have been really scared and not confident enough to, you know, play a character in a booth. You know, it would have kind of scared me a little bit. It's a lot. But after being around it for so long, I was like, I can definitely do this, you know, like I feel pretty confident in my ability to do this and read with friends. Because generally I was a social when needed child, like, because I'm a little bit of an extroverted introvert, if that makes sense.
I guess that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see, right, and to hear about the fact that you grew up around it. I mean, you know the ins and outs of the industry because you've been around it for so long, which means you also know like what to avoid, which is something I don't know if everyone can really attest to, because there are things you don't want to do that some people will just jump at because they're like, oh, it's a thing I can do and it doesn't go anywhere, and you have experience to avoid that.
Right. And you want to watch out for like certain things. And like I used to do a lot of non-union work before I was in the union. Obviously, that's what you do. But, you know, there was that choice of, do I unionize and pay the fee, or do I stay doing non-union? And I definitely chose to unionize. I think it's much more important to be I think I'm biased because the union gives you health benefits and, you know, all that stuff. And I really like being a part of a group. And also it's better rates.
Can you kind of explain that a little bit more, just for some of the listeners that may not quite understand what sort of unionized versus non-unionized means?
Non-union is kind of not low budget per se. There could be a really high budget, there could be a really high budget for it, but it would be non-union. So they give you a flat rate. They give you like, say, $500 to do this video game. Like I did Shadowverse, that card game, the
mobile card game, yeah.
Fairly popular. I did a bunch of voices in Shadowverse before I was union, and that was a non-union job. They would give me, you know, a certain rate per character, and then they wouldn't, you know, they don't pay you again. It's just a flat rate, you know. But when you're union, you get residuals, which are like every time it plays somewhere, you get money. Like I did automated dialogue replacement. I did like a bunch of voices and stuff. I did the voice of the main character in Escape Room and Escape Room 2, the two like horror movies. Escape Room 2 came out pretty recently, but I did like voice matching the character. So every time that plays on TV or someone rents it, I get a little money, and it all kind of adds up. So that's what being in the union will help with. It's very nice.
Why would someone not want to be in the union? That sounds so much better.
It is expensive. You know, there's a union, there's an initial fee, and, you know, you do have to pay your dues. Like you have to pay a certain amount of money to be able to receive those residuals, but it also gets you up to bat for the higher paying projects. Like you can't, you know, I had to actually be unionized for Escape Room, like the first one. Like I had to join the union. There's a process called Taft-Hartley, which means you are eligible for the union, and I'm pretty sure, please do not quote me on this, I'm not that well versed, but Taft-Hartley essentially means that you booked a job that is unionized and you are not unionized yet, so they make you union for that specific job.
Okay.
I think that's a general way of explaining it. I'm not great with this. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I got unionized in the parking lot at Sony like 10 minutes before I went in. My headshot, quote unquote, was like a Snapchat selfie from like 2016.
Oh my
God, that's great.
Just putting the phone out.
Fantastic.
And I'm like, I don't have professional headshots. I'm a voice actor, for Christ's sakes. And yeah, so it was pretty funny looking back on that, for sure.
Here's an interesting question. When you're non-union, I assume you can't get union jobs. Like there's like
Yeah.
a dividing wall.
Yep. Yeah.
That would be very interesting because there are a lot of companies like outside of the voice acting industry that just don't want to unionize. So hearing it
Right.
from this perspective, it's one, it costs the companies a lot of money to be in a union. That's the reason why a lot of companies don't want to do it.
Right.
And two, if you're non-union, you don't have to worry about paying somebody's health benefits or anything like that because you pay them a flat rate and they leave and you never talk to them again.
Yeah, exactly. Which can be great for some people. Like some people I know that do audiobooks and those are non-union and they pay really well. So like, there's a dividing line, but it's worth it. It's worth it to me. It's not worth it to some other people, which is totally fine,
If we're hearing cutouts by the way, on our end, if I know stream might be hearing some cutouts there on audio on our end, this should be fine when it's uploaded onto YouTube. It's just, I think Miranda's having a little bit of internet issues. So, but bear with me, guys.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You're fine. Everything will be fine on the YouTube side.
Okay, cool.
It'll all be fixed.
Yay.
Which I got that's so interesting. Like it definitely sounds like it's an investment in your future.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, for sure. It is definitely an investment, and I think it's definitely worth it if you plan on going, booking more, bigger things and stuff. And like it's totally cool. Like people who do like mobile games, like people make a lot of money off of mobile games, and like that's totally fine. Especially if you don't want to do voiceover like full time. Non-union is a great way to go. But yeah, I personally prefer being unionized.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's just one of that sounds like one of the many benefits of being around voice acting for so long. Is just sort of you get to know this kind of thing. And I think that's one of the things, because you've been around, again, you mentioned, for example, Tara Strong, like one of the biggest sort of cartoon, but one of the biggest voices of our childhood is essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's absolutely incredible.
She's everywhere.
I literally love her so much. It's kind of funny. I'm actually working with her right now on a couple of projects, but as an artist and not as a voice actor. So it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of funny. I was just like, man, that's so interesting. That the first time I get to work with Tara Strong, it's for art.
What's with all of the voice actors having so many varied careers outside of voice acting?
It's
always
so
impressive.
Strange. Yeah. It's so strange and so cool. I love it. I love that there's so many, like my dad is not only a voice actor, he's a writer too. He's a comedy writer. And like, it's just, I don't know. I love the fact that there's so many creative people in this industry that don't just have the voice acting talent. It's a lot of other things usually. Pretty awesome.
Well, I think that also moves me on sort of to my next question, which is, because so many talented, that so many different fields. What are the kind of inspirations that you have? I guess more specifically in voice acting, but also in other fields. Like, what kind of is there any kind of people that, whether you were around when you were a kid or sort of later on, like who do you sort of look up to, and who do you say like, if I'm doing like this person, then I'm doing pretty well?
Oh man, for voice acting specifically, Tara, obviously. It's so weird because she's been my inspiration for different projects. Like I get to like work really closely with her, and that's literally my dream come true. And I mean, Tara, obviously, Grey Griffin is an idol of mine. Just everyone, Mindy Sterling, Lorraine Newman. I mean, for specifically female voice actors, there's just so many that I look up to. But in terms of making my own show, obviously we'll talk about that later. But Justin Roiland, he does his own shows and he also does the voice. It's like, that's the dream for me as well. Alex Hirsch, he does like, Grunkle Stan and Bill Cipher, but he also made Gravity Falls, and he's an artist and animator. And it's like, man, that's so cool. I wish I could do that someday. People like that who do like that specifically is like my gold standard. But in specifically voice acting, all my female voice actor idols who just happen to also be my friends. I don't know what kind of life I'm living. It's very strange.
A very good one. You have a lot of very powerful and very, very, very good inspiration around you, and that's always a good thing to hear.
Yeah, I sometimes I feel a little small. Just like looking up to these people. I'm like, oh my god, you're so cool. Am I even, am I even deserving? I feel like frickin' Nagi. Like, but would you bestow upon me, a plebeian wretch like me? Would you bestow your beautiful talents? I'm just like, wow, can't even believe it.
That is
So
how
crazy.
I feel every single time I have a guest on this podcast.
Aw.
Because like every time, like for example, this, right? I think about it and I'm like, I have been running this podcast for what? Or we've been running this podcast for what, 7 months now?
Almost 8.
We have no business having names like you on this podcast. Really, it makes no sense.
You forget. I'm literally over at my dad's house right now, just like hanging out in my whisper booth. And like, you forget that I literally just turned 21 over the pandemic. I share a room like with my awesome roommate, but also like we have a cat. Like I am as normal as they come. We just do some really weird and semi-cool things sometimes, like
I'd say some really cool things personally.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I don't even feel like I belong. Sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that I get to be a part of something this special. Like even the fact that you guys would want to interview me, this silly little LGBT 21-year-old, like just sitting alone in her little whisper booth in her garage. Like it's just like, man, you guys want to interview me? That's really sweet.
Of course we do, because one of the other things about, especially with Neo and the voice actors in it, is you guys are from like every possible direction of the industry. You all have your own interesting and varied stories, and of course we want people to hear about it, and we want to help spread that out. Especially like the way you feel about your friends and the way we feel about you are very similar, but
Aww.
I also have the mental foresight to go, I can ask you questions that you may already have the answer to, because
right,
talking to you like this, you're a resource and you can help us learn and grow with what you already know because you've been in it for so long.
Aw, that's really nice. Sometimes I kind of forget that I kind of know things sometimes. And usually I'm like, please don't take advice from me. I'm a very silly person. But then sometimes I'm like,
means you get the best advice.
oh yeah, I kind of do know about that. That's weird.
Dude, imposter syndrome is
it's powerful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's powerful. My dad and I were just talking about it today because we were recording some people for my pilot, and one particular person whom I love very much, whom I cannot name, but a little secret. But we were just talking about, I was like, man, I was dissociating so hard through that like whole thing because like this actor is really cool and I love him, but like it's really scares me sometimes, and I'm like, imposters, a little sussy brain going on there.
You have, this project has the voice of this person. I can't mess this up, kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like,
it's almost like having technical difficulties when you have an important voice actor on the podcast.
Oh,
Come on, you
man.
cannot beat yourself up right now. We can do this later.
No, seriously, I'm not on a schedule at all. I'm just chilling here. The only thing I have to get back to is like going back and hanging out with my roommate and doing some drawing. And I mean, I have an audition due like on Monday, but like other than that, I'm just chilling.
Pet the cat too.
Oh, and the cat, of course. Kipper needs to. He needs attention. He's a big old baby.
His name is Kipper. I love it.
Yeah, that was my roommate's name choice. I love it because it's like Kipper the dog, but he is like also like he's also very much like a dog. He's like a sentient beanie baby. Like you can pick him up. That's literally how we describe him every time, and it's so accurate. You can pick him up and do whatever the hell you want with him. Like you can make his like little paws like beat on like a bongo drum or whatever, and he is just so chill. He's purring the whole time. He doesn't stop for nothing. Like
that cat likes to be touched.
Oh my
The
God.
cat is
he
opposite of
loves
touch
to
star.
be held. He loves to be held, and he'll like actually yell at you until you pick him up and hold him like a baby.
My cat
cute.
is like that too. One of my cats, she, even when we're clipping her nails, she'll just be purring the entire time. Like she doesn't care what you do to her.
Exactly.
I'm being held. This is okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that sometimes.
Welcome to Petcast episode 2. Every time we have a guest, it turns into look at how cute my animal is.
I'm sorry, but
Every single no, I'm not complaining. I'm totally down. It just makes me kind of wish that I had a
sometime.
pet growing up as a kid.
oh, he's so cute.
You can fix that now.
Oh,
You can.
absolutely not. Neku, do you want to go ahead and ask the next question, please?
Oh,
So
yeah. Questions.
with our last interviewee, we were talking to Paul. We mentioned how he built like a voice profile in his head of how he wants the character to speak. How do you figure out how you want to voice characters and what kind of mannerisms you want to give them? Is it like a voice profile, or do you have your own unique way of doing it?
So usually what happens, it really depends on the character. In fact, they didn't tell me that Nagi was a main character at all. They just sent me two. They sent me Lady Kanon and Nagi. So, like, I didn't know that she was a side character. I didn't know the project. I had no idea because Paul has been a fan forever. And then I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I had no idea what the thing was. I didn't know what the project was. I didn't recognize the arc style. I just thought it was really cool. But for her in particular, they gave me like concept art of what she would look like. And like they gave me like her sprite. And I was like, yes, I'm a visual person. I'm an artist. Thank God they put a little concept art there for me to grasp a hold of. It's always very helpful for me in particular to have, like, maybe it's not helpful for some other people, but oh my gosh, having an image to help is so great. But what they said was, you know, voice references is Peridot from Steven Universe. And I'm like, oh yeah, I used to do Peridot impressions in high school because I was obsessed with Steven Universe. I got this, you know, like, so they like said voice reference, you know, Peridot, but obviously I wanted it to be my own voice, you know, and Nagi in particular, they were talking about how she was an edgelord and like she's a, you know, and I'm just like, okay, this girl goes on Reddit like every day.
But
yeah, they literally did for my audition. They were doing the my worst ever reviews. Tis I, Nagi the Edgelord. You know, so edgy. You know, that thing. And I'm like, okay, so they obviously know what they're talking about here. They know their terminology. You know, they know this girl goes on Reddit every single day. She's on r/conspiracy theories. You know, she is that bitch. So I was thinking of combining, you know, almost. I had friends like that in high school that were like, you know, total weebs, you know. I mean, I'm a little bit of a mini weeb myself. I'm not huge into anime, but I was like, okay, I'm going to combine Peridot with the weebiest person that I know, and I'm going to just go and just like smash them together. And I did my own little mannerisms and stuff and put in my own little fangirly twist because I am a fangirl. So I just kind of like meshed them all together and like looked at her art the whole time. And I didn't even know that she was a main character. So I just kind of treated it. I recorded it in my room on this page. And then they called me about like a week or two later and they were like, yeah, you booked it. And I'm like, amazing. That's great. But if I had known that she was a main character and about this game at all, I would have like freaked the hell out. They didn't even tell me that she was a main character at all until like the third session. And I was like, wait, I'm doing a lot of these sessions. She's got to be in this game a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always so interesting to when there was a lot of localization drama happening at some point, but hearing your side and Paul's side of the story and hearing about the way the localizers knew what audience they were targeting. The localizers are memes. We know they're memers at this point. And
oh yeah.
when
like
they sent
the particular translator that I was working with, Matt, and he was also kind of a director as well, but he speaks fluent Japanese. But he also
that's useful.
Yeah, he also speaks English. So like he like basically translated the lines and he was like, okay, can we get this, you know, this pronunciation on this thing? And oh, it doesn't really sound like that mannerism is more like akin to I don't know, like a what is it, like an not an allegory, but like a metaphor or something like that, so he knew the ins and outs of Japanese culture and slang, so it was easy to translate that. But talking about meme things, we were both like playing Animal Crossing at the same time, like, and then I started like humming like the Mario theme, and then we started talking about Coconut Mall in particular and like how fun that song was, and then we'd just be like in the booth, in between takes, and I would just go and then he would go so like we were totally just memeing with it, and he will always be my Coconut Mall buddy. But seriously though, like they knew what they were doing 100%. Like,
it's also nice to hear the translator worked with you directly to point you in the right direction. That's really nice to hear.
It was great. It was him and a director, and sometimes there would be one of the original, like the game, like the Japanese side of the direction. So what I would hear is the Japanese actor's voice line. They gave me the Japanese actor's voice reference. I don't think they had recorded her yet. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But like whenever I would do a session, they would play me the Japanese voice actress's line first. And then I would like do my take on it in the English version and, add my little mannerisms and little snorts and fangirly noises and whatnot, and just kind of make it my own.
Okay, I have two sidebar questions related to that. One, obviously those fangirl noises came from the soul.
Yes,
is that,
they came from deep within. Yeah,
they were
100%. Thank you.
So good.
I was just kind of they came deep rooted, like beneath my soul. I don't think that was even me saying it. I think it was like my 12-year-old, 13-year-old supernatural Sherlock, Doctor Who Tumblr self. My Tumblr self just like came out, and it was just like a nostalgia blast, and I'm just like, okay, if I were to ever make those sounds in real life when I was in like middle school, what would they sound like? And that's exactly what they sounded like.
Yeah, I swear, like I just remember this one voice line. It was just garbled noise, and it was just so good.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so funny. Matt was like, the translator guy, he was like, no one can make fangirl noises like you, Miranda. And I'm just like, you know what? That is so sweet. I'm gonna cry.
That is an amazing compliment coming from someone who has to direct thousands of people a year.
Right? I'm just so happy because I'm just like, I make so many fangirl noises in my head when I'm meeting cool people. What would they actually sound like if I had no social barrier? Like, and I just got to like nerd out. So that was such a treasure, such a treat.
I
forgot my second question. We can move on. I'm sorry.
I'm trying. I'm trying like I can't, like, I don't know how. It's super impressive. And like,
here, wait, let me just try one. Right?
I have no idea what that
was
amazing.
Yeah. So like, so many voice cracks. So many. There's like 8 like one noise.
It's so good. It literally just felt like you let out your 12-year-old nerd during those scenes, and you proved it today. And I'm very happy to know those were real and not like, no, I'm just super professional, I can do it on a whim.
Oh no, that was from deep inside my soul. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
all the way back to
like,
the Tumblr days.
They put a smile on my face every time I goddamn heard them.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because of who they were usually directed at. Anyway, next question. Mai, go ahead, kill it.
All right. What would be like any character that you would love to voice?
Oh my god. Oh man. I don't know if they probably already casted it and like, did all the voices and stuff, but I would love to be in like an episode of Clone High. That would be really awesome.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with Lord and Miller forever and ever, and like ever since they did like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, and then I started following them a lot, and like actually I did some stuff in the Clone High days, and they retweeted some of the stuff that I did on Twitter, and it made me really happy. But like Clone High would be really cool to voice. So doing some voice on Rick and Morty would be amazing. That would be really cool. Mm-hmm. But in terms of character type, I would please let me play a villain. I would love to play a villain.
I could absolutely see you like dropping your voice to be the villain, and with how expressive you are, it'd be very interesting to watch.
Thank you. You know, I can get my voice pretty low. I always do the anime mom voice, you know, like for my friends. So like, you know, if I like did a little twist on that, and I can go pretty high with my voice too. So I would have fun doing like, you know, maniacal laughter and getting
I could
all
see you being Yzma
getting
from
all
Emperor's New Groove, actually.
Oh my god, yes. I love her so much.
She's great.
Young Yzma, please. Disney, I know you're out there. I know you want to make a live action version of everything. So please hire me. Make me young Yzma. You know you want the money.
Mm-hmm. They
Come
always
on,
want the
Mr.
money.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although
Well,
I would be pretty
well-
pissed at them if they made a live action Emperor's New Groove.
I can
Gotta
agree
tell
with
you.
that.
Yeah.
I would be a little bit pissed
Yeah.
because that's like one of my personal favorites. So
Mhm.
Did you really have to? I mean, I don't want to kill the chances of this podcast being sponsored by Disney, but what the hell was that Lion King remake?
I didn't
like
watch it and I
It was a
never
cash
care
grab.
to.
It was,
Oh yeah. It was always a cash grab.
Oh, it's
You
also
know,
a rights
what-
renewal thing.
Yeah, and it makes me really sad because like just watch the old one. Just watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's all
that
you need to
movie.
do.
That movie was just basically, hey, look at our CGI. We're so good.
Yeah, look
We
at
can
how
make
good
animals.
these horrible expressions are. Do you see that? That's sadness coming from a CGI lion.
Yeah.
That's sadness. Do you see that?
It's just-
No?
it rips all the passion and soul out of it. Like that's the
I
best part of Lion King
know.
is the animation.
It's the expressions, the
Mhm.
animation, and then like, you know, when Simba like sees his dad die, he just looks like he does in every other frame. Like,
Look, the spoilers
dude.
for The Lion King, a 35-year-old movie.
Yeah. Just literally, just if you want to remake it, do it in like the Zootopia style or something. Put some creativity.
It's
Please
fine.
don't remake it. Don't
R-
remake it. Please
it-
don't.
It
But if
has-
you do,
hear me out. It has
know?
Beyonce in it. Does that
You know-
change your mind at all?
no, it doesn't.
No.
Queen Bee cannot save this CGI mess. She can't save it.
Queen
makes me
Bee
sad.
Can't save the CGI monstrosity.
Not even. Yeah, not even John Oliver can save it. And I love John Oliver so much.
He's so funny.
True.
He's
The only reason-
so funny.
Fun fact, the only reason why that Lion King exists is because Disney was about to lose the rights to the Lion King, so they had to make something new out of it before they lost the rights.
Mm.
Make a show. Make
No.
make another Lion King 1.5, please.
King
know
1
what?
3/4.
I think that exists. I swear they made like some
3/4.
sort of Lion King series with. It was like some line with a red fringe. It was weird. I think it was like
Yeah,
Kids
I
Show
think
or
it's called like
something.
Lion Guard or something.
Yeah, something like that. You
Yeah.
see it,
I've seen it around. But love the Lion King 2. Love the Lion King 1.5. That's my guilty pleasure movie. I love it
Shit.
so much. It's so
It is.
stupid.
You like
It's a
these,
very dumb movie.
It's so stupid.
you
but
like
it's
these super
so
jank,
good.
like straight to DVD Disney sequels.
You know what? Sometimes in a mood, if the mood strikes me, I'm very much down for it.
Right.
Like if I'm in the particular mood.
Hulk's New Groove comes to
So,
mind.
yeah.
That movie is so
Yeah.
dumb, but it's so good.
What comes
Yeah.
to my mind is Cinderella 3, I think, or Cinderella 2.
Yes. Oh my
I
god.
just
the one
thought it
where
was
the
so
prince
good.
the one where the prince jumps out the window.
Yes, that one.
Wait,
I
what?
didn't know this existed.
So good. So good. He's like, you can't go down the stairs. And he's like, okay. And then he just throws himself out the window. It's
I've-
so funny.
I've never seen this. I need to now.
You just at
Add
least
it
need to see
movie
that
night
clip.
list.
Please. Just at least
I'll
that
find
clip.
it. I'll find
Like
it after
somebody
the
find that for me. I
podcast.
need to watch that later.
I forbid you from going down these stairs. Okay.
Just put a yeet noise on top of it. It'd be the perfect meme clip.
Exactly.
Oh, I
Oh
found
my
it
God.
already. Dang.
Good.
Since
So
we're-
funny.
Since we've already started talking about sort of animation and that kind of thing, I think this is as good a
Good
segue as
segue.
any to move ourselves on to sort of talking about sort of what you've done around sort of art and illustration and the kind. And since I am already mumbling, I'm gonna let Neku take this next question.
Good segue, by the way. So
that's good.
you've obviously been drawing for a pretty long period of time.
Yeah.
When did you start? How did you start? What inspires you to keep going?
Oh, well, geez. So actually, kind of funny. I was never an art kid in school. Like, I mean, I was technically, but like, I was a choir kid first and foremost. My mom did choir. Like I was talking about how my mom didn't want me to do voiceover, but she is and was I don't even know what she's doing nowadays. But she's a singer and a songwriter. So I was like, I really do love singing. Let me let me do choir for 9 years. And I did art as a hobby up until sophomore year of high school. And then I realized that I had a great choir teacher named Mr. Halls, and I missed half my freshman year to mysterious reasons. I'm just going to leave that up for interpretation. I missed half my freshman year of high school, and he was like, if you don't really want to do choir as a profession, you should probably take, classes that you want to take in college as well, instead of art. Because I had a big talk with him. I was like talking about how, I love art and stuff. Like, can I actually do that for a career? And da 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 da. So in sophomore year of high school, I took my first official art class, and I was already really into it. And then I got into AP art the next year. And, all my stuff, I was self-taught up until then. And then I did learn some really good techniques, but mostly I am self-taught because I didn't do a lot of like instructional art classes when I was supposed to. I was doing choir. So that's kind of how that started. It started as a hobby, and then it just kind of turned into something way more. And now it just kind of combined because I guess since I was able to do choir for 9 years, I learned how to take direction through my voice. My choir teacher was so great. She would like very individually like help us out. Like I was in the madrigals, I was in the a cappella group and whatnot. And I know a lot of voice actors who were singers, like D. Bradley Baker, for instance, used to be in a barbershop quartet. And, there's just a lot of voice actors who are singers. So it all just kind of meshed together quite nicely. I kind of started. I'm sorry, I lost track of it. What were the other questions?
You're good.
So that's how it started, for sure.
The this goes back to like voice actors have so many talents. It blows my mind. The second part of the question was, what inspires you to keep drawing, or is there something that what's your muse?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of. I mean, I'm not gonna like go into it, but I do have a lot of mental health issues. Lots of depression. That's just kind of something that I talk about a lot, and how I struggle with it. But it's not, it doesn't define me, obviously. But art definitely keeps me going. If I throw myself in my work, if I just keep drawing and drawing, it helps me to cope and draw it out on paper and visualize it. And I'll do some like vent art once in a while. So that's mostly what keeps me going. Is like my mental state. I was like, man, I got to draw some more if I'm having a bad day or really? Whatever. But also,
I won't
oh, thanks.
Like,
oh yeah,
I feel like it totally like whenever I'm in a slump, throwing all my energy into a creative project is usually what gets me out of it.
Exactly. That's literally 100%. No, I totally get you. Like that's exactly what keeps me going. But also, being inspired by my animation idols is pretty great. Like in particular, like Justin Roiland, I mentioned before, he and I started talking to him again because we met each other through a voice actor friend of mine, kind of funny. But like, he was talking how, he thinks I should like keep going and, and doing all my stuff. And he's just really supportive. And so is like, the co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, who I've just become friends with this past me at this point. He's helping me with my pilot and my theme song and helping me with the animatic and just all sorts of amazing stuff. So those are the kind of people that help keep me going. And also a lot my dad. I love my dad so much. He annoys the hell out of me sometimes, but that's just kind of what dads do. And he definitely keeps me going, and especially because we're kind of business partners in this pilot that we're doing together. But he helps me stay motivated, and just there's so many people that I could name, but yeah, mostly my dad and Swampy and some other animation idols that really keeps me going. Oh, and watching a lot of animated content for sure. It helps me get inspired.
Definitely. Like that's why I love. We're gonna get into it in a second, but I love the art style that you have going
Thank you.
on. You know what? Let's just move on to it now. Actually.
Yeah, let's do it.
Since we're on the topic, so I'm gonna pretend that we didn't talk about this. So I'm gonna ask the question, and I'm gonna be super shocked when you tell me about this project. Right,
Oh, please do. Yeah. Ask me the question.
So, Miss Miranda Parkin, do you have? It's not possible that somebody's as busy as you has another animated project to do.
I'm gonna slap him later. Don't you worry.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Ahmed. I am so glad that you asked me this for the first time just now.
And why would that be?
And why would that be? Well, I have an upcoming pilot that I'm trying to. Well, first we're gonna pitch it around. Then I'm gonna do the animatic, and then I'm gonna, and then whatever happens, I am going to do a Kickstarter and fully animate it myself with a team. I'm gonna do that. But if it gets picked up, no matter what, I'm gonna make the Kickstarter. So it's gonna be an 11-minute pilot. But if it does get picked up, I get to have creative control over my little short film that I do. It could be a stepping stone, could be something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but whatever it is, I think it's going in a positive direction for sure.
Oh, amazing. I can't.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is that some like? Are these some like draft drawings and sketch stuff? Can I have those for a second? Can you hand me those?
Yes, you may. Here. Let me just hand those to you.
Yeah, just fucking
over there. Here you go.
Oh, there you go. I got them in my hand. Hold on.
Oh, great.
Okay, let me show you sketches of this new show that you have prepared. 1 second. Wow!
Whoa!
Look at that stuff.
It's.
I've definitely improved since then, but
Hold on, let me throw through. There's one particular one that we have on here that I really love. Which is this one.
Expressions are so good. I love them so much.
Play Harper. She just kind of sounds like me, but I mean, just a little bit, maybe just a bit higher pitched like this, just sounds like this. I'm a defense attorney. I'm here to defend you, just like that kind of thing. So this was like one of her earlier character sheets. She has a different outfit now, but essentially it is about a futuristic version of Las Vegas, and this defense attorney comes back to her home casino on this planet. It's called the Loop. Luperif Omari is the planet, or the moon, sorry. So she comes back to the Loop after being away for a long time. She went to college, did the whole defense attorney thing, and now she has heard that her father has passed away. But the catch is that her father is not actually dead. He is transplanted into the body of a robot, and she has to defend him, so he can keep the casino. So that's just generally the plot synopsis. And the season arc would be, just her finding out about her dad and trying to deal with running the casino because she's like the next of kin, and there's so many places that I could go, but essentially the world itself is based off of like 50s Vegas, like when the mob kind of ran Vegas, but it is futurized. So it's like a lot of 50s aesthetic, but you know how Blade Runner is kind of based off of Chinatown? So like, it's just like, essentially if we had evolved, if retrofuturism had actually been like a thing, like if we had evolved from the 50s vision of what the future would look like. So there's still like touch pads and robots and stuff, but they're all very 50s themed.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I'm getting some very, very powerful and expressive vibes just off of this picture.
Let me show some more of these. So hold on. Let me just show you some more of these sketches.
So that's the casino floor. As you guys can see, there's lots of like little diamonds and like all the 50s like, I don't know, just a lot of 50s aesthetic going on there, lots of pinks. And as you can see, I worked so hard on that particular one. Like, I almost died. My hands almost died. Like, there's a bar in the corner. You can see like every individual bottle. And like, oh my God, it was so hard. But yeah, that one in particular I love. And there is Harper on the transport going back home to the loop. I like that robot in the front. I really got attached to that guy when I was drawing him.
So new main character, understood.
Yeah, exactly. I do have a couple of robots in the cast. I've got a bug alien, got the dad robot. There's so many. It's kind of an ensemble cast, where a lot of the characters have worked in the casino for a really long time and kind of like helped raise her and stuff, because the dad wasn't really there that much, and she ends up defending the father for them so that they can keep their jobs at the casino. Yeah, I don't, I can't really give away any of like the cast or like the actual details of the plot, but
of course,
that's
don't
essentially,
do it if you want to.
yeah, that's essentially it. And obviously I'm going to be in it. I'm the main character.
Whoa! Insane.
Whoa. Yeah, but
Who
I have
could
some
seen it
animation
coming?
tests and stuff. What was
So
that?
here's
Who could? I'm not saying who could have seen it coming. I'm just being on.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. No one could have
Jackass.
seen it coming. No.
here's a fun, obvious question. What inspired this? What made you go, I want a defense attorney on the moon?
Well, we actually we went
questions,
through.
Neku.
Yeah, we went through a lot of like just a lot of versions of this story, and we actually got a couple of our writer friends. My dad's a comedy writer, as I said, but he also has a really great comedy writer friend named Ed, who has worked on Last Man Standing for years and years, and Roseanne, and just like a bunch of comedy shows. He's a veteran of the craft, and he's kind of our showrunner right now. So it went through a lot of different versions. Like, she was going to be like some sort of CIA agent, or sorry, like Area 51 agent that accidentally gets transported into this moon, and has to like pay off her debt, quote unquote. Like, there were so many things, so many versions of this story, but we finally decided on just this version where she would come back to her home planet or home moon, and try and keep her family casino alive. Without,
Amazing.
dying in the process, I guess.
I am shocked
Yeah.
by you showing me this art right now. Thank you for sending it through express mail to Europa.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I'm going to be making like an Instagram page for this once I do like the animatic, the Kickstarter and everything. So you guys can, I'll like send you links and stuff for the Instagram page, but it's going to be like a whole thing, and I'm going to be putting up like every step of the process there.
It's incredibly impressive, and like I remember seeing, it's a shock horror, guys. It's not my first time seeing these. I remember you showing me these. You told me that you're going to Vegas for research, and I was like, yeah, right.
Yes.
But then you actually
No, I
showed me
did.
the pictures, and
Yeah.
you were serious. And
Yeah, me and my dad stayed for 5 days at the Flamingo, which is one of the oldest oldest
been there.
casinos on the Strip, not the Loop. That's mine. On the Strip. And we looked into, like, you can't really get Vegas without going to Vegas. You need to see all the people and the nightlife and the shows and how freaking hot it is. You got to really experience it. You can't just look at photos. It's not possible to get your full experience. Yeah.
It's why a lot of developers and writers like travel the world when they want to do something based on a specific area.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know a lot of like JRPG developers, when they want to make like a New York style city, they'll send the team to New York so they can understand what it's like. And
Exactly. No, for sure. But yeah, like in particular, Vegas is really one of those places where you cannot get. Like, we went and saw the stupidest shows. Like, we went specific, like, about Vegas, and like, we went to the Mob Museum, the Atomic Museum. The Atomic Testing Museum was really cool, actually, because there's just so much desert surrounding Vegas. I thought it would be a great idea for like a futuristic planet. So what we kind of figured out was, there's an oxygen band around the moon of Lupurif Omari, the Loop. There's an oxygen band around it, and the farther away you get, the loopier you'll get if you don't have like a mask, or whatever.
That's just common knowledge, really. Who
Yeah,
wouldn't know that?
Exactly. So like we just thought that there would be an oxygen band around the planet, or something like that. Maybe it was enclosed, but there are monsters and stuff. So instead of atomic testing, instead of radiation and crazy stuff going on, it's giant monsters because there's too much oxygen on the other sides of the planet. So yeah, there's just lots of really fun, crazy things that we could get into with those like side plots where you have to go out to the desert to get some specific thing, or whatever. So we just kind of based it around like actual conflicts that people have when they go out into the deserts of Vegas. Like there's lots of bodies buried there because of the mob days, and just all sorts of fun stuff.
Like it's super interesting. By the way, does this have a working title or some way that people can reference it?
Yes, it is called the Comet Casino. The Comet is, obviously it's the titular casino. It's the Comet Casino. That's the place where she comes back to, and that's essentially, that's the show, the Comet Casino.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's honestly, it's super duper cool. I remember you showing me these. I was like, oh, let me just bring this back up again. I'm totally not doing this over and over again to show you the cool flip animation that I made for this stream. That's
absolutely
it looks
not.
So good. It looks so good.
But like first of all, I like this like smug grin.
Yeah.
In the middle gets me super hard.
That's the style. I had to draw her so many times because I got to animate the crap out of her. Like I've got to just do animation tests and stuff. And I have so many other characters. Yeah, I literally have so many other characters. There's like 5 or 6 other characters. It is an ensemble cast, so it was really difficult to kind of get everyone in the mix. But I hired, like all of my voiceover friends. I never actually had any favors to ask them, because I have pretty sure I have some sort of ADHD where like I have the inattentive type most likely. That I just can never finish a project, and it's really hard for me to finish and follow through things. Yep. So that's why I've never actually asked my voiceover friends for favors before. And now I finally get to ask them favors, and they're all like, yes, put me in it. I'm honored, da 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 da. And I'm just like, oh, this is so nice. Also like the pressure, but also it's really nice.
Well, I think this is a really good place to sort of continue on, because the other part of this is obviously, now that you have had sort of a really well-established and well-fleshed out idea, the next step is to sort of then talk about, obviously getting people involved. So you have sort of people involved now for sort of the voices and stuff. But the next thing to talk about is really the money, right? This is the what makes the world go around, because unfortunately that's the most difficult thing about all of this. You can have all the creativity and ideas in the world. If you don't have the money to get it done, that's kind of the problem. I know.
That's the issue that a lot of people face.
I know you're still fairly new to this, and you maybe don't have a ton of experience in it, so I don't expect an extremely fleshed out answer.
I do have a bit of experience in it. Like I've been a part of a lot of Kickstarters before, like animating. Like I helped out with Wildcard, which is it's a pretty popular Kickstarter. It's like a murder mystery show. So I did storyboards for them, and I have a lot of experience with being in other people's Kickstarters. I haven't made my own yet, but potentially. So like what we're doing actually is Ed, who's our showrunner, the writer that I mentioned earlier, he is actually sending it out to his agency, who will send it to other studios. So we are going to pitch this to as many places as we can, Bento Box, Netflix, wherever we can get our hands on, because we do have friends at pretty much all of those places, which is really great, and pull some strings. But, if none of them bite, I'm going to make it into a Kickstarter. Obviously I'm going to do it either way. I'm going to do the Kickstarter either way. Yeah. But I assume, I can't tell you about the cast, but they all have extreme star power. I don't want to pat myself on the back or anything, but my dad is amazing at like networking and being really cool about, asking people to do things and favors and stuff. So we have an incredible cast. Like it's actually insane, the cast that we have. And I wish I could talk about it more. I will be talking about it more and releasing the cast list as time goes by, but they have a lot. I think it's definitely doable. Like, it might be a little tough, but it is definitely in, like, I'm going to do it either way. I'm going to get the money for it. I can definitely, I can put all, I can put money into it. I've got money from voiceover. I'll be putting money into it. My dad will be putting money into it. My family, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can do it. It's going to be tough, but I will be doing it for sure.
It's
100%.
a labor of love. It definitely sounds like it's
exactly. It's a passion project. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the thing, like, I guess my kind of question is, do you then, how much, I mean, it sounds like you kind of know the answer to this, but do you sort of shift the project idea at all to sort of fit sort of what investors may want to hear, or do you just sort of purely just go, this is what I want to do, take it or leave it?
I'm definitely, I'm going to say, when I'm in the pitch meetings and stuff, I will be like, this is all changeable, because it is. I'm going to do my creative vision, whether they want to or not, on a Kickstarter. I'm going to do my little 11-minute pilot. I'm going to raise the money for that. I'm going to do my creative vision, and then I can tell them, hey, you can do whatever you want to this. That's fine. So I'm going to have two versions, one that I really like, and it's an 11-minute, it's 11-minute pilot, and it's going to be one that I like. And if they don't like it, that's fine. I can be in charge of something that they like and that's less in my creative control. But all that matters is, it's like I get to do my thing as well. So like I'm going to do best of both worlds.
Yeah.
I don't mind if they want to change.
The best way of doing it, right? It's no, and I really do wish you luck on it, because it's a super cool idea. You're obviously super passionate about it. I really hope it takes off, and then you can say, this podcast ends with you believed in me before anyone, well, not before anyone else, but we advertised and they got the exclusive
exactly
scoop.
The exclusive scoop on it. Yeah.
But yes, but would you believe that's not even everything that you worked? Can you, like, I don't know how you do it.
I also have a YouTube channel.
You do have a YouTube channel. We actually haven't touched on that here, but we will touch on that later, because it's been asked. There's some Patreon questions around it.
Oh my gosh, for real.
And we will touch on it as well when we talk about TWEWY stuff. But the other thing I want to talk about is the music stuff, because I had these questions well laid out. They were perfect, and then you dropped this track. And I was like, shit, I have to work this in now. I'm going to play a segment of the song real quick for the sake of for those who are uninitiated. This is Pickled Plums that has released Wednesday? Question mark? Did this come out Wednesday?
I don't know. I don't keep track. What are you looking at me for? I just dropped it whenever.
Okay. I'm gonna play a quick segment of this for those of you who are initiated. That's all you get. That's all you get. You go listen to it. Go listen to it.
Yeah, pull it up on Spotify and go listen to it.
Much like a drug dealer.
And my YouTube channel.
And it's oh yeah, no, it is on YouTube, and we'll circulate all the links. I'm sure somebody will circulate all the links there in chat. But it's really good. I genuinely like it. It's on it's on my lo-fi beats playlist. No, for real. It's I like it a lot.
Seriously?
It's cool. Yeah,
I put it on my playlist.
That is so sweet. Listen, okay, so I've been an artist for a really long time, and I've been a voice actor for a really long time. Mostly I'm used to getting praise about my art, because that is the main thing that I do every single day, all the time. I do voiceover, but since Nagi, before Nagi, there was nothing that I could really super duper talk about. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I've done, like dubbing for Netflix and Escape Room and Shadowverse and Arena of Valor and a lot of things, but nothing like a main character role. So I wasn't really used to getting a lot of praise for my voiceover stuff, and now I do, which is great. But my point being is that my YouTube channel and my songs are purely me. Like there is no, not that anything that I do has an ulterior motive, but like with my art, like there's, you know, things that I have to compromise on. Like I do fan art specifically for me, you know, and just to have fun and do fan art and stuff. But I'm kind of used to people going, "Oh, that looks really cool," and "Oh, you're really good at art." Like I'm really happy to have that praise, and it makes me very happy. And I love my fans of my art. But for YouTube and music in particular, I'm kind of just starting up. So any praise on that is like 1,000 times stronger for me. Like it's actually crazy. I'm so happy to receive that love for my songs and YouTube in particular, because they're just for me and me, my really personal projects.
I mean, this is so. Here's the thing, because like like real quick, like how. So did you? Obviously, you were the vocalist in it, but like, were you like? Did you write the lyrics or?
Yeah, I did everything.
Oh wow, even the music. Wow.
Yeah.
We keep going back to voice actors are multi-talented. I don't know how we keep going back to this conversation.
I have my tiny little MIDI keyboard. It's like 20 or 30 keys. It's so small. It fits on my desk. And this mic is my everything.
This mic, you recorded. You did all this. I can't even make a scrambled egg without bursting into tears. You did all these. That's impressive.
I don't know. The lyrics is kind of like the first verse. I was like, just kind of like, I don't know. I was very particular about the first verse, and then everything else just kind of came in like a half an hour. And I was like, okay, that's nice. That's cool. That sounds cool. And then I'm just going to record these. There was a lot of like going back in and making sure that the beats were perfect, because with my MIDI keyboard, it's a little bit harder to adjust because it's a really small MIDI keyboard. I don't, you know, that's not my main gig. I'm not going to spend like $500 on a keyboard. You know what I mean? Like I'll spend $500 on like an art thing, you know, but not like a keyboard, because it's not my main gig. It's not my main thing. But I do love singing, and I love making like little songs. And I almost, again, going back to it, I never finish projects. It's really hard for me to finish projects. So like finishing a song in actuality, that's like crazy for me.
So you literally just did this on a whim.
Yeah, I just kind of did it for fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible.
You actually answered 2 of our questions at once.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
we were going to ask you how you decided to get into music, because it seemed super recent, and then you just turned around and said, I just did it cuz, and we were like, okay, that immediately answers the question.
Yeah, because I did choir, you know, just as you guys know, I did choir for a long time, and I was used to singing in a group format, which is great. And, you know, I play the guitar sometimes, and I like playing the guitar and singing like by the fire or whatever. But again, like I never finish songs. It's really hard for me to finish things. But since I got my little MIDI keyboard, I was just kind of inspired one day, and I'm just like, oh, this sounds nice together. And I'm going to, you know, just kind of make a beat first, and then I'm going to sing to it, and then I'm going to put some chords on there. And
well, there goes that. Okay, excellent. Our next question was, did you start with the lyrics or the beat? Okay, cool. So you started with the beat.
Oh, I started with the beat and then the chords, and then I sang to it. Yeah.
You are literally reading our script without reading our script. I need you to stop seeing the future.
Am I like a mind reader?
Yes.
Like
hey, I use dive. Look I use the dive function. I use my ability.
That's amazing.
That's
yeah.
Well, great. I guess we're moving on to the Patreon questions now.
Yes, throw them at me.
Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but you know, once in a generation, there are certain babies that are born that are just better than the rest, and those babies decide to donate to our podcast through patreon.com/TPEWY and get such amazing benefits as having an exclusive channel on our Discords and possible game nights in the future. Ooh.
Game nights! Game nights!
Great. It's great.
Y'all, go be a patron. Good lord. These guys got it. These guys got it all.
Yeah. The first question that I'm going to ask is one from RSP.
Hi.
He asks, Miranda, on your YouTube, do you want to do speed paints since you're also an artist?
yes sometimes and no other times because my process is a little bit messy. But I mean, I might do speed paints. I just never, no one's ever like recommended that to me yet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think there's also a good opportunity to just mention your YouTube channel in general, because I don't think we
Yeah.
talked about that before.
Yeah, I do a lot of silly stuff on there. I mean, mostly right now I'm actually working on a video about the weird North Korean animation that I started watching with my
I saw
friends.
that. Super cool.
And the first one was really fun to do, but I was like, man, I can't do this commentary alone. I gotta get my friends in on this. So the second episode that I'm working on right now of that series is me and my dad did commentary on it. And it was really funny. And then the third one I'm gonna do, we already recorded it, but me and my roommate did commentary on it. So like, yeah. So I'm doing a couple more videos in that series because it was really fun to do. And I also react to memes.
What's the name of the channel?
Just Parkin Art, same as my Instagram.
So there you go.
Parkin Art, like parking without the G.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, it's cool. I love, like, I watched half of that Korean Cinderella video, and I had to lie down because I kind of couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty insane. The second episode has dinosaurs.
oh
Yeah.
Good. Oh, good.
Yeah, no, you're gonna love it. It's great. And they have Dinosaur Society. Like an actual society with like buildings and electricity and circuses. It's amazing.
This animation reminds me of a Michael Reeves video where it just goes from one thing straight to another with no context in between.
Literally, exactly. I'm pretty sure there's like a cinematic universe where they just like tie in a legend of Sleeping Beauty or like, some sort of legend, but they have like an overarching like cinematic universe that I want to delve into deeper because the prince in this show is like also like the prince of dinosaurs, I guess. And this is like his origin story. There's a lot of things going on in that show. Yeah, it's actually insane. And the fact that it's produced by like a North Korean. There's so many things that I could go into there. Like, it's insane. It's like actually insane.
There's a lot you can go
Yeah,
into.
it's a lot.
But for now, let's continue onwards because Slice of Delicious Life is a little greedy and asks like 7 questions, but we're gonna ask 3 of them. Mai, do you want to take that first one? That one that's highlighted?
Yeah. All right. What do you think about the series as a whole, and what does it mean to you? Like, do you have it doesn't seem like, did you have any background with TWEWY beforehand?
I had absolutely none. I had to ask. I was like, what is this? I kept asking. I'm like, man, what's the project? And they wouldn't tell me until like the 3rd or 4th session. And they were like, oh yeah, it's this game called Neo, the World Ends With You. And I'm just like, that sounds fun. Let me just look that up. And then I was like, whoa, y'all haven't had it. Y'all are thirsty. Y'all are hungry for some food. Y'all haven't had any content since like 2007. Good Lord. Like, oh my God. The amount of blue balls. I feel so bad for you guys. You poor fans have been waiting forever.
14 years. 14 years. I've been the one in this chat that's been waiting the longest. I played it like day 1 when it came out in the States. I've been waiting for a sequel for 14 years. I had no background. I was definitely very much a DS kid. When I was a kid, I had the rose gold DS Lite, baby. That was my bread and butter. But I was never. I don't know why I never got this game. It should have been my bread and butter, but it should have been my thing back when I was a kid. But I'd never heard of it before. And then one night, I told my group chat, my little friends, my friend group, when I was able to talk about the game, I was like, oh, I don't know if you guys know Neo, the World Ends With You game. And my friend Derek chimed in and he's like, they're making a sequel? And I'm like, yeah, they announced it. And he's like, what? Like he starts freaking out. It was apparently his favorite game of all time. And and now his friend is the lead character in it, and he was insanely excited. And I'm just like, Derek, I'm so glad that you knew what it was. Like, none of my other friends knew what it was, but Derek knew. And the next time we saw each other, he had like a little Reaper's pin on, and I'm like, oh my God,
so cute. I love it. And then the second it came out, I mean, not the second it came out, but when it came out, I bought it for my Switch, and I've been playing it. Been playing it quite a bit. I've kind of slacked off recently. I'm not super far in, but I still I love it. The gameplay is really fun, and I'm not as much of a gamer as I should be because I work like all the time.
Yeah.
The game design is great, and the characters are really fun and realistic. There's a lot of realistic writing in it, and I'm not just like saying that because I'm in the game. It's like actually really good.
It's really where we're at. This is really
Yeah,
good.
anyway.
It's funny how many people we ask this question of, hey, did you like the game? And people say yes out loud, but no on the internet.
Aw. Why don't they like it? People who don't like it. Why don't you like it? You're so mean.
Why aren't you playing the game right now?
It's a good game. Why aren't you playing it right now?
Look,
Come
listen,
on.
You don't need to have the you kind of need to have the audio on for the game, but you know what? You can keep us on in the background.
Yeah.
Allow it.
Exactly.
Says the man who was playing it before the recording session. We had to drag him out of his chair.
Nice.
No. That doesn't
Don't
sound
lie.
okay.
Don't lie on the record.
What's it?
Well, anyway,
lie where I want.
it means a lot to me now because of all the amazing fans and all the people who have sent me things. I've just sent me memes and sent me all these sweet things on Twitter. And occasionally I'll get a DM on Instagram. They're like, I don't know, if this will find you. You probably won't respond, but I loved you as Nagi. And I'm like, of course I'm going to respond. My DMs are dry as hell. Please talk to me. Also, thank you. It just makes me cry just because it's a random DM about how cool my voice performance is. And I'm like, what? You guys are so nice. I just freak out. And yeah, so it means a lot to me now. The game means a lot to me now.
That's actually one thing I wanted to kind of talk about is because you, more than a lot of the other people that worked on the game, because a lot of them actually did get super involved with the community, which is great to see. But you in particular, I vividly remember the day that trailer 2 came out, you went immediately on Twitter and be like, hey guys, it's me. And just immediately we had the entire community adopted you as their own.
Yeah, it was really sweet. It was so sweet. Because, I mean, I've been a fangirl forever. I've been this, I've been doing fan art for the Umbrella Academy and Doctor Who and Good Omens and all sorts of crazy fan art stuff. And I ship people and I'm I read fan fiction every night. I'm such a fangirl, man. It's part of my whole being. So I couldn't not take this opportunity to be hey, other fan people, I like you and you like me. Let's hang out, on Twitter. It's not, it's not my entire being. I don't make it all that I am, but it's definitely a big part of my life, being a fan of things.
Yeah.
It must be so weird to be on the other side of being fanned on.
Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird, but it's really
people
cool.
Doing the things that you did to you, and that has to be interesting.
I hope that I can get to go to conventions and then have people just let me go to a convention for free, and then I can go around because I would have gone to the convention anyway,
Yeah.
But because I've been going to conventions since I was 12. I'm that person. I'm that bitch, I would cosplay and stuff. I'm a big nerd. So just makes me really happy that I can actually do that and cosplay as my own character. That's going to be insane. It's going to be awesome.
It's pretty surreal seeing you do art of Nagi, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I made the art. The first art that I did that's my Twitter profile picture, I did that I think 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months before the game came out. I did it almost immediately after I had finished all my sessions, and I wanted to just show it to Matt, my translator, Coconut Mall buddy, and I just wanted to show it to him because he was like, "This is amazing, this is so cool," and da 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 da. So I think I drew it right after the trailer dropped. I don't know when I drew it, but anyway, my first fan art of her, it was so much fun, and I love this style, and translating it into my own style was such a challenge, but so much fun too. I just love drawing fan art of everything, so it just makes me really happy that I get to do that.
Yeah. No, it's super good. So let's move on as it were. This is an interesting question because I'm kind of curious what your answer to this is, even though I don't anticipate there being a correct answer to this. Simonster Shipper asks, what is your elegant strategy headcanons? Which I guess means kind of like, what kind of a game do you envision it being, or you envisioned it being when you?
I talked about this on my most recent Nagi YouTube video, that I was thinking it was kind of a combination between like Mystic Messenger and like, oh, what was the other thing that I said? Like a Mystic Messenger and like not. It was, you know, just a general dating sim, but maybe it also has like some sort of like little mini games and stuff that you can play, like a little bit of little Doki Doki Literature Club without all the it's like kind of like comes out in chapters like Mystic Messenger does. You know,
I could absolutely see like the Doki Doki Literature Club aspects without all of the murder.
Yeah, sans murder. Although it might, you know, it could definitely have murder for sure.
Considering the fact Lord Tomonami had a very, very evil side in real life, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. To actually, no, like that would be really great, actually. Like Tomonami twist villain. Can we get that? Like Disney, get on this. It's your thing. It's your twist villain thing.
Like, come on, Disney, partner with Square again and make elegant strategy and just put like Pete in it. It'll be fine.
Penguin Pete dating sim.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm nipping
yes.
this in the bud right now.
No,
it's such a great idea. Please.
Oh,
Disney dating sim with twist of villains. This is the best idea ever.
Lord Frollo from Hunchback dating.
When you finally succeed, it starts playing his theme song and he catches on fire.
Yes, exactly. See, you get it.
Oh Lord, Ahmed, you need to rein this back in somehow, even though I'm the cause of it.
I mean, this is my.
So those are my elegant strategy headcanons.
Yeah. What more do you want? Somebody take this question. Nick, go on. Take this. Take that one.
So this is an interesting question. From Krista Ventresca. Can you elaborate on any and all queer headcanons for the game in general, or especially Nagi?
Ooh, I got this one. So I'm definitely a big fan of just a little friendo on the side. Kind of like that ship. It's very cute. Yeah, a little friendo. I think what was the other one? This is the other one that I had. So Nagi is bisexual queen. I'm very adamant about that because like I don't know, she seems like she has bi energy. She's definitely not straight, that's for sure.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely bisexual, and I said on Twitter that I just played her like the most lesbian, but like in canon she's like bisexual. At least I think so. I don't know. I have no idea, but that's like my little headcanon.
Yeah. Well, what more do you want? That's. I mean, you heard it here first.
You heard it from Nagi about Nagi. You can't really change the answer at this point.
That's it. It's basically official. You know what? Why don't you ask this next question? I think.
Oh,
you're evil.
Question for you.
You're evil.
Nah. Go ahead, please.
Show Minamoto for worst boy.
No. I think you need to put on your Savers glasses and read that again. I think you need to. First
okay.
of all,
okay. Yes, I know. That was my okay. Salty Drain wants to know show for best boy.
Show for best boy.
The correct answer is no.
That hesitation I heard. Why is there hesitation about this?
You know, I do love Minamimoto, but I'm a big fan of Susakichi. I'm a big fan.
You know,
I'm a big fan. He's so funny. Like, actually, though, like, he made me laugh out loud with, like, a bunch of his voice lines. And I like met Max in real life because we did that whole like thing where we all like met up together. And like we were talking about how he in his audition process, he just went for the most crazy thing that he could. And it wasn't really a voice that he could do without like having his voice hurt for a while. Yeah. So like I just love his crazy voice. It makes me very happy. Also, I forget what the guy's name is who like just texts every word that he says to them.
Hi.
Yeah, I like that guy. I like him a lot.
So it sounds like Show is not in the top 3.
He is in the top 3. He's my third choice.
Okay.
Take that.
Yeah, I do love how he
You
says
lost.
zeptograms.
But yes, that is a big one. Bretendo asks, do you think that Futaba from Persona 5 and Nagi are similar?
I've not really delved into Persona 5, but I've seen some like Futaba clips and like, you know, how she interacts, and they are very similar for sure. Definitely they would totally be friends in real life. Yeah,
Here's
for
how
sure.
I'm not gonna argue with you, obviously, but here's how I feel about. Here's the thing, right? Because I love Persona 5. They're similar in that they're both massive dorks, and they both like put a lot of like lingo in their speech. But there's a very big difference in that Futaba is sort of learning to get to grips with interacting with people at all. Whereas Nagi, even though she is kind of like, there is a journey there, without getting too much into it, but she is kind of going through a journey throughout the game regarding interacting with people in general. She also just is kind of competent at it right off the bat. That is a big difference between the two.
Yeah.
Outside of hating Fred.
I don't think she even. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm not gonna. See, now you're trying to get spoilers at me. I'm gonna stop right there.
That's not even a spoiler.
I know.
She literally does not acknowledge his existence.
In order to address that, I feel like I'd have to talk about spoiler stuff. So I'm not gonna say any more on the topics. What I will go into though is Bretendo also asked, can you just do the whole Lord Tomonami thing, please? Lol.
Wait, oh, the one where she just goes like Lord Tomonama, like she like freaks out.
Oh,
I think
That
that's
thing?
what we're referencing, but I'm
Is
not
that what
sure.
they're
There's
talking
no
about?
specifics.
Yes.
that one, or just squeal it like you do. Either. Or,
Oh,
whatever
okay.
you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I've been talking for a while. My voice is like a little shot, but I can do this.
Sorry.
Lord,
A little cracks, lots of cracks.
That was amazing.
So, fun fact,
it's
because of
just
this,
so dreamy. Oh.
You know, like that.
yeah.
Good lord.
Dude, it gave me goosebumps.
In dreamy 3D. That one literally gets me every time. So funny. Also, it was Matt's idea that we actually say the word wrath instead of like, you know,
I knew it.
yelling.
I knew it was a localization.
yeah, that was
choice.
that was our idea. That was both of our idea, and we were just like laughing about how funny that would be if she actually just said wrath. You know, like if she actually just said that. And then it actually ended up in the game.
I'm so happy to know that was actually a localization decision, because just screaming there is funny in the first place, but screaming wrath made that scene so memorable.
Yeah, taste my edgy wrath. It's so funny.
It's so good. Moving right along. You know what? Before we actually continue, I have a question.
Oh, go on.
What was it like working with Square Enix, especially during COVID? Like, how did that work out?
I mostly just worked with Skylark Sound. I didn't work with Square Enix in particular. Like, I just worked with the sound, like the booth guys, the studio that I recorded at. So I just talked to them. You know, I didn't talk to like Square in actuality. But like, it was amazing actually, because I went to Skylark I found out who I was working with. I didn't know that I was working with him. I think maybe I did. I don't know. But I was at Skylark, and they had this amazing system where the freaking booth was like sanitized, like every time someone went in the booth, and that booth was just for me that day, and they sanitized it, and they gave me my own bathroom, and they made me take a COVID test quiz, you know, like before I would come in every time, and sanitize everything. It was amazing. Downside, there weren't any snacks, which made me really sad, but that's okay because of COVID safety. And I remember they put my headphones in a little sanitized baggie with my name on it, and it was awesome. And then I was like, there was another like headphone in the rack. Like they were like, oh yeah, someone from your game is like using another booth today, or used another booth. That's his, you know, little headset, and it said Griffin Burns on it. And I'm like, I recognize that name. And then I looked him up, and I'm like, oh my god, no way, he's in Devilman Crybaby. That's crazy. So like, because that's like one of the only animes that I watch. So like, I freaked out, and like, yeah, so freaked me out that he was in that game. So in my game, and I was like freaking out a little bit. But then the other 4 or 5 sessions were right here in this very whisper booth. And they actually brought over like a briefcase with the mic that they used, and like everything was sanitized and in plastic bags with paper towels and stuff. It was so safe, and kind of like, it was really meticulous, but it was really great. It was so easy to just set up everything up, and they made it really easy for me. So I can't thank them enough. It was amazing. Seriously.
Yeah, dude. I'm really glad. I'm really glad to hear that. Like, it's because working through COVID and stuff, I'm like, you would have been recording like in the, I don't want you to say when, because I think that's kind of wording on NDA, but it would have been within the realm of COVID. So yeah, like fair play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
when I was recording, it was kind of funny. I did talk about this a little bit on Twitter, but when I was recording in here and it was really cold, I think it was like the November, December months, I think. And it was really cold in this booth like it is now. And it was really cold, and I was doing it at nighttime most of the time because the Japanese, in Japan, Matt was in Japan, and the other guys were in Japan as well. So it was the best time, and it was at like 6 or 7 or 8 at night or whatever, and it would be a 4-hour, 5-hour session. And then it was so cold in here that I was in my little Mugman onesie from Cuphead, because I like Mugman. And so I was in my little onesie with my little plate of lettuce, just like picking off of it like a gremlin, like just in my element. But it did get really cold out here. That was my bad. That wasn't the studio's bad.
Little voice gremlin sitting in the back of your head goes, eat the lettuce in the middle of talking.
it helps with everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yes. Okay. Let's move on to some questions from Twitter. And speaking of questions from the people, peoples of twitch.tv/Amadeus, now is your time to ask your questions to the wonderful and talented Miranda Parkin. So if you have any more questions, put them in chat right now, and Agent Random there will keep track of them for us, and we will get to them before the end. However, for now, let's get through some of these highlighted ones, guys. So, Neku, do you want to ask that first one?
Sure. The Last of Tides asks, were there any funny or interesting moments from recording sessions prior to the game's release?
Oh my gosh, I just was talking about the Wrath one. That was really funny. What else? There was what? Oh, yes, the part where she's like listing all of the merch that she has. Like,
Right.
again, this one was from the thing, and this is the thing, and then this one from this was a convention. This one I actually made myself, and then this one. And we had to like change the lines a lot because they were like too long. You know, the Japanese translation to English was too long, and we had to change that a bunch. And that one, I remember there was so many different takes of that one, like that particular just set. And by the end of it, I was just like, you know, just like my mouth. I could not talk that fast anymore. There were so many things to say. It was really funny, and Matt and I were cracking up. And yeah, I was like playing Animal Crossing in between, and it was just some really fun times just hanging out with Matt and like just talking and being silly, and
That's
me
so
talking
cool.
about how I like, you know, talking about my favorite YouTube channels, and like, you know, because at this point I was like 20, so like I don't know. I'm just a dumb kid. I'm just like talking about random things that I like, and I was like doodling and stuff in between as well. But yeah, that particular scene where she's like taking out all of her stuff was really funny.
Here's a follow-up question to that. Is there ever a certain
yes.
point where words stop being words?
All
Like
the
you've said
time.
something so many times, you're just like, is this actually a word?
All the time. Every day in my daily lifestyle as well. Yeah. I just thought, like, just the other day I was thinking of the word incredible, and I'm just like, oh my God, that actually means that it's not credible and like it can't be real. That's insane. Incredible. Whoa. You know, it just hit me in my brain, and I
Shower thoughts.
crazy little rat just like going around telling people, oh my God, this word means that word. You know, you want this cheese? You know, I don't know. I was just feeling like a little rat brain, you know?
Dude, it's shower thoughts. They happen.
Exactly.
I can't go to r/shower thoughts anymore. It keeps breaking my brain in the morning.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that just did not seem like a word to me anymore. And yeah, like that does happen sometimes in sessions as well. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Next question, my reset. Can you ask that next highlighted question for me, please?
Of course. Dreamy La wants to know, did the final result surprise you compared with the auditions you had?
Oh, wait, yeah, it really, yeah, yes, exactly. Like, it actually surprised me. I forgot most of my voice lines because my brain just takes things that happened and just throws them out the window sometimes. And I forgot most of the lines that I had, so I couldn't really spoil anything even if I wanted to. I just forget everything. And also they gave it to me out of context. They would do like the second day and then the first day and then the fourth day and then, you know, other things. So it got really messed up in my brain. And yeah, there's just a lot of, yeah, it definitely surprised me a lot. Like
You can't
especially
spoil things if you don't remember.
exactly. Yeah, that's a smart move. Like there was one point where I was playing it on my TV and I was just like, you know, just playing it. And my roommate goes, that doesn't sound like you at all. And I'm just like, you're right, it doesn't. And like, obviously, yes, I'm putting on a voice, but it sounds so much better than I could have ever sounded. What is, you know, what's going on here? I sound like this when I talk, you know, that's not right.
I mean, I'm sure they do.
Just kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Like post-production, like sort of EQ balancing and stuff on the voice, surely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it just did not sound like me at all. And
Right.
like, because I do my voice, and whenever I do my voice and I hear it through how I hear it, and I don't hear it through recording, I just do the thing and then they play it back to me when the final game is done. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, yeah.
it's really hard for me to hear how it sounds on recording.
Yeah.
It's like every day of my life, everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, I hate how my voice sounds on recording. And I'm just like, how do you think I feel? There are like thousands of people playing this game. And I still am scared about how my voice sounds on recording. How do I feel? Come on, this is my job. It's scary. You know?
Dude, I get, like, you're talking to somebody who has to edit these every
Oh,
week,
yeah.
every 2 weeks. So I completely...
You
I
get it.
completely
You
am
totally
sick
get
of
it.
the
Yeah.
sound of my voice.
Exactly.
But okay. Oh, that is a Twitter tag. Is this a bot? Any206962. Very funny, you guys. Very funny. Any20696260 asks, "What's your favorite Nagi line and why?"
Ooh, Lord Tomonami in Dreamy 3D. Also the one where she's like, I don't believe I was referring to you, or something like that. Like she was just like, I think like just Fred starts talking and like she just hates him every time he talks. It's so funny. Like she just does not give a shit about anything that he says.
It's so sad, but I was like,
Yeah,
this is just funny.
It's so savage. She's just so mean.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, also, there was one. I mean, I like just her saying face erasure was really fun. But like, what was the other one? Oh yeah, you know that is like when I was like crying and like Tizai is the worst review ever. Tizai, Nagi the Edgelord. You know, she like does the little squeaky at the end. It was really funny. I love that one.
There's a lot of really good moments, actually.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Here's one. I just went off by Slice as well. Actually, this he was asking questions earlier, but one of the questions that we didn't touch on is, what characters do you, Miranda, feel a connection with and or like relate to deeply? This doesn't have to be TWEWY specifically.
Oh, well, dang. Right now, just a little bit, even though he's like a horrible person, a little bit of Mac from freaking Always Sunny. Kind of, because I'm kind of like figuring out my sexuality, so that's like, you know, that's like a thing that happens. And also, I mean, yeah, Nagi, obviously, she's total edgelord, and she kind of reminds me of me in middle school. Who else? At the moment, I'm watching a lot of things, actually. I'm watching a lot of South Park, but I don't know if I relate to any of the characters in that at all. I think, I mean, in BBC Ghosts, I kind of relate to Thomas a little bit because he's a drama queen, but I don't really I don't really see myself in a lot of characters at the moment, but
totally fair. I always see like bits and pieces of myself
project onto, you know.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely relate to like Dipper from Gravity Falls for sure, like in bits and pieces. Because I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. Not really, but like more like I'm into like murder mysteries and like, you know, are ghosts real and like stuff like that. It's always interested me.
So what you're saying is you suddenly find a mysterious book with the number 3 on it, we need to call you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, call me up. Also, Wirt from Over the Garden Wall has always been like one of my favorite characters ever. I definitely relate to him. Yeah. Also Coraline. Yeah, her too.
Coraline's a good movie.
That's a really good movie.
We just did that movie in movie night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
It is so good.
It is amazing.
It's amazing.
I did a Coraline cosplay back in the day.
Ooh.
Yeah. Got my blue
Is it
hair.
buried on your Instagram somewhere?
I think I might have archived it, but I don't know. I'll have to check. It should be. Should be on there.
Well, whether or not we can find it, people should go follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, Parkin Art.
There you go. What more do you want? Let's see. I know you're not that far into the game, so maybe you don't have a fantastic answer to this. But just it's fine. But same person at any 2069
Numbers
0696260 asks, what's the relationship between what's the relationship between characters that you like the most? I assume this is specifically related to TWEWY.
I just really love, I mean, not only do I kind of ship them a little bit, but Fret and Rindo's dynamic is so good. It's so funny. It reminds me a lot of me and my friends. Not that I ship me and my friends, but you know what I mean? Like it's such a realistic dynamic because Fret is just like, he's so off the wall. Actually, Fret reminds me of my roommate Hannah. Like Hannah is just such a dork and like a little bit of a gremlin brain, you know, just like lots and lots of things going through their head a lot, like all the time. And they'll just, you know, say random things sometimes and it always makes me laugh. But like, I don't know. I just love their dynamic. It's so funny. It makes me really happy to see a realistic friend dynamic on in the game. Very nice.
It's a big part of the reason why I love. It's one of the things that like is super cool about Neo in particular. Is just you see it's kind of different in OG TWEWY, but in Neo TWEWY in particular, you get to see the relationships between certain characters mature and change over time. And like, I love seeing how I don't ship them, but I love seeing how Rindo and Fred's relationship kind of like changes throughout the game and how it sort of develops. It's really cool. I love it a lot.
Really good.
I know you kind of touched on this, but maybe you can elaborate on this a little more. I've been talking a lot. Actually, I need a drink of water. Neku, can you ask that question with a number 2 beside it?
Yep. So when you were, were you scouted to do Nagi, or were you auditioning out to try to be Nagi?
Auditioning out. That's how I think there's only one role that I've been like scouted out for, and that was Arena of Valor, and they asked me to be in it because they liked my demo. But yeah, other than that.
So how did
no one does that.
If this breaks NDA, you can cut us off here, but how did the process go to audition for that role? Like what channels did you have to go through? Who'd you talk to, etc.?
I mean, it's just my agents just sent me the copy, and I just figured it was another like side character. I didn't know that I would be auditioning for the main character. They sent me Lady Kanon and Nagi in the same file. I just thought I would be auditioning for both of them, and I thought they were both like side characters. And they gave me the sprite. They gave me a couple of audition lines, and I did both of them and sent them in, just like always. I can never get too attached to these things because it's a lot of rejection, like they're not going to tell me when I didn't get the job, but they definitely are going to tell me if I did get the job. So like, I never try. I do put a lot of effort into what I do, obviously for what it is, but I never like get my hopes up about one specific thing unless it's like really, really big or really, really cool. But I never try and get my hopes up because that leads to a lot of rejection and sadness.
Yeah, I'd say that for every yes and for every role you've gotten, there's at least like 50 that you didn't, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I have a question. Have you ever like just pranked a group of people before? So I have a story.
Swear to God.
Jesus.
This is the only time that I've had the power, had the clout to prank somebody.
So
I've never had that kind of clout before.
So I
pretty cash
have a
money.
story. I have a story that I've literally been waiting to tell for,
Please tell it.
Oh God, months now, and I'm gonna tell the story properly, right? Because I'm very proud of this.
Right.
They still hold it over my head occasionally. But here we go.
Occasionally, you say.
So, again, as I mentioned at the beginning, Miranda was kind of like one of the first voice actors I'd approached about being on the podcast, and her saying yes to come on was one of the biggest moments for me for the podcast. Like her just saying yes. At that time, it was kind of me just going out of my way and networking and trying to get these people on. So no one else on the team was aware that I was talking to these guys. And I chose to keep it a secret because I thought this would make for a very cool surprise, right? I thought this would be like, this is a huge moment. I'm finding out one by one by myself. Like, I'm really excited about this. I gotta tell them in a very cool way, right? And I'd been talking to Miranda, and she's super cool like that. And I was like, hey, since you're so cool, you want to help me completely troll the other members of the podcast? And she was like, absolutely 100% yes. So what happened was, I think when I talked to you about this, you were about to leave for Vegas.
Actually.
So I had to literally sit on it for like 2 weeks while you were there. Until you came back. And then I devised the plan, right? So let me tell you what the plan was, okay? So I put a lot of thought into this, right? What we did was that we have a server, right? We have a separate Discord server. Me, my Neku and Taylor for whenever we discuss like, you know, planning for the podcast, meetings, all that kind of stuff. We have like a reservoir, like our repository for our information is there in a separate Discord server. And we usually, if we're meeting anybody or any guests or anything, we also meet them there. So what I did was, we have a mutual friend, Miranda also knew him, a person called Agent Random, who's in chat at the moment. He's been helping us for a while, and he's fantastic, and you should check out his YouTube channel. But we do know him, and he's never been in a server before. So here's what I suggested. I was like, there's a name for it. It's like a masked heist, right? So what I asked Miranda to do, here was the plan, right? I'll tell you the plan, and I'll tell you how badly it messed up before. The plan was, I was gonna call a meeting. I was gonna say, hey guys, we're gonna meet Agent Random because we haven't met him in person yet. And then I was gonna have Miranda disguise on Discord as Agent Random by taking his name and profile picture and moving into the meeting, and then surprising them with a ta-da, it's actually Miranda all along from Neo the World Ends With You. That was the plan. When I tell you every single part of this plan that I wanted to work messed up in some way, first of all, Miranda was on an interview with Paul the same day. Do you remember this?
I do.
Yeah.
Miranda specifically, I'm curious if you remember about this. Because yeah, she had an interview with Paul that day. And she changed into Agent Random's profile picture live on stream. That was problem number one. Do you remember this, Miranda, by the way? Are you there?
Oh yeah, I totally remember this. Sorry, I've just been listening to this wonderful story. You're a great storyteller.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, the best part of problem number one is I was listening to that interview, but not watching the interview.
So he didn't. So if he had seen,
Thank God,
the profile picture change, it would have been disastrous. So that was crisis averted number one. But so that went okay, and then Miranda got into the server, and I started the meeting, and I pulled Agent Random. Well, I pulled Miranda disguised as Random into the call. I was like, hey guys, Agent Random, you finally get to meet him. Problem number two of this plan worked on the assumption that none of these turkeys have met Agent Random before.
Why are we turkeys now?
Yeah, what the heck?
Apparently I was wrong, because apparently Mai had already heard his voice before.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was, Miranda put on her best I'm a boy voice.
yes, I'm a man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? It's Ash Ketchum.
Like that.
No, sorry, that's not that's not what I did.
And then I was like, hey guys, we Agent Random, isn't he cool and kooky and totally a man? Yes. And then I hear Neku didn't suspect shit. Mai was like, I heard her begin to ask very detective questions, and she was a clone, and she was trying to find out if she was a real clone or not. She literally asked Miranda, "Hey, Random, do you remember about this really obscure thing that we did a couple of months ago?" I had to come in and
I do not.
Yeah, because the whole thing was that Miranda, Tay was like, wow, you do a really good Nagi impression. Oh
yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Oh yeah, I started doing the Nagi voice.
I was
really good. Yeah, that's really good. That's almost there. You could probably hone it.
No, my exact words were, "Why are you not in voice acting already?" Not knowing who I was talking to.
That was so funny.
I told Miranda, I was like, okay, in order to reveal the surprise, I'm gonna ask you to do a voice line, and then you're gonna do it, and then they're gonna realize who it is, and it's gonna be amazing.
And they're gonna freak out.
I give her the signal, she does the line, and all I hear is, yeah, that was a surprisingly good Nagi impression. You should get into voice acting. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
She's almost, you said she's almost there.
No, my words were, why are you not in voice acting yet? Don't change my words.
Yes. But so I went into detective mode because Random and I are part of a OG TWEWY fan dub, and I was like, oh, but he's already kind of in voice acting just for fun. And then Miranda was like, yeah.
And then this numbnut turns around and goes, by the way, this is Miranda. And I'm like, really? This is how you introduce us, by us casually talking about voice acting ability with a professional voice actor who we've been waiting to talk to and you hid from us for 3 weeks. This is how you introduce us.
Yep. And you know what? I wouldn't take it back for a moment, because it was the confusion, the ultimate confusion when I revealed that it was Miranda all along was something to behold. It's like one of my favorite moments ever. I've lost the footage. I had footage of it.
Oh, no, you lost it.
I've lost the footage.
Oh, no. He lost it. Oh, no.
But it was literally like, Mai was screaming and laughing. Neku was just fucking flustered.
Mind you, like for like just context, it was supposed to be just a chill meeting. I'm lying in my bed and just, half asleep. So this starts happening, and I get up and I start pacing when it's revealed. I'm like, what?
None of these fools had known that we even had a single voice actor on board. And at that point, I had both Miranda and Paul Castro on board, and that was my reveal. So you brought a lot of happiness that day, Miranda, but I swear to God, the second Miranda left, all of these fools dogpiled me.
Oh yeah, and we do it every day. You are never going to live that down. Like, it wasn't the problem of like, hey, surprise, Miranda's gonna be in the podcast. It was the problem of he had been teasing us for weeks that he had a surprise in the works.
Yeah.
It's literally weeks.
It was literally like, all right, Miranda, see you later, bye. Boop, she leaves. I can't believe you'd fucking do this to us.
You could hear like the gremlin run across the room, grabbing the mic and just, I'm gonna kill you.
It was. I mean, I have no idea. I'm sure it was very confusing for you, Miranda, the entire situation, but
yeah, it was a little confusing for sure. But it was also really funny to like hear people go like, oh yeah, you should get into voice acting, man. Like, you're pretty good.
Of course, in the back of your head, you're like, really? I need to get into it?
it was,
yeah, I should probably get into it sometime.
Yeah, just not anytime soon, right? You got too many other things to worry about, like your pilot.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's I've been waiting to tell that story for so long, and I thought like this is the perfect time to tell it, because goddamn, it's one of my favorite stories.
Exactly.
Sorry, podcast.
It's a great story.
It'll be a great story when all of us somehow meet at a con. We all sit down for dinner and we just tell that story again in person. And Ahmed watches Maya and I glare at him across the table.
I feel like Tay's gonna shank me. Like every time I tell that story. I feel like she's super cool and sweet and lovely, but like she looked at me like, I hope you never do this ever again. And I'm like she's cracking her knuckles, and like 3 guys in black suits appear from behind her. Like, that's what I was waiting.
Her stand is the mafia.
That's so funny.
She'll just shank her freaking, throw her ferrets at you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, the ferrets are deadly. I should know. They led me into a wall more than once.
We gotta get Miranda. We gotta get you surprising more fans. We gotta get on that. We gotta be like the Santa Claus, except I'm brown and skinny.
Oh,
to be fair,
what more fans? What you gotta get me? What? Huh?
It's don't.
He
worry.
wants you to start pranking more of your fans.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea. I think that would be really funny. I could just jump into some TWEWY like Twitch streams and be like,
hello.
You're not playing it right.
I'm sure.
That's not my strategy. Why would you do that?
I think the the best part of his entire situation is the fact that you're so like ingrained with the community. Because I remember one of the first times I saw you interacting with them, it was like people telling you to read certain voice lines, and all
Yeah.
of them were memes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, why wouldn't they be? Like, I would, if my, if a voice actor would be like, hey, I'm gonna read some memes. Like, obviously, I would like give them some memes to work with. I was
That's very
already
true.
like doing meme voicing, and stuff on TikTok and whatnot. But yeah, step in the right direction.
No, I'll remember that. I really hope I get to meet. Man, I love Ireland, but god damn it, I hate the fact that I can't meet with any of you guys or network or anything like that from over here. It's rough.
Yeah, womp womp.
I do wanna make a trip over though. I would like to meet as
Yeah, do it.
at the very least, Maya and Neku, I have to meet you. I haven't met these guys in person at all.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
I would like to. Yeah, it's crazy because I trust these guys and I know them so well now. I've never seen these fools in person.
It's one of the thoughts that I had of if our podcast ever gets invited to a convention for any reason, he's gonna have to spend like 3 times the amount of cash to get there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's gonna be a whole thing. Although it will be worth it just to see how much I tower over my.
Oh, screw you.
It'll be funny. How tall are you, Miranda? Actually, I've dumbfounded curiosity.
I'm 5'10".
5'10". That's not bad. That's actually all right. It's actually pretty tall for all the girls I know.
Pretty tall for a girl.
No, but like it's okay. I didn't mean like that.
You walked into that, dude.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
you're pretty tall for a woman. No, I get it. Like, I was always like the second tallest or the tallest girl in my class. It was always a thing, which was fine. I now appreciate it more, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I used to like kind of hate it. I used to be like, oh man, like I'm tall and like kind of chubby. Like, oh boy, it just was not a really good feeling for me. And then like I started feeling more confident in myself. I still got really bad body positivity issues. I got to get over that. But like, I used to be like kind of self-conscious about being really tall. So,
Yeah.
it's not like tall girl levels, like bad Netflix movie. Oh, I had a size 13 shoe, like I'm so oppressed. Like it's not that.
I mean, kids will find the smallest shit to make fun of you for.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
technically a bad
Teenagers
thing.
are the
It's a
worst.
thing. Oh, God, I hate teenagers.
Like when you smile, you look like that turtle from Ice Age. Like I know what you're talking about and I hate you. Like
God, that
Anyway.
sucks. So yeah, childhood is. Can we just skip childhood? Can we just like?
Yeah, let's skip that.
I mean, we
I
could
was
skip
never a
straight
child.
to
I just
questions
popped
to
out of
us.
the womb at 21.
Yeah.
I was never a child. What are you talking about?
But yes, I wonder, is there any questions from the chat? I don't think
Not
so.
that I have seen. No.
Mm-hmm.
The Twitter
Um,
questions.
Twitter questions, we've gone through those. A lot of these questions were sort of hold on. Somebody posted a question on Twitter 21 minutes ago.
Oh.
All right, read the question, Ahmed. I didn't see it.
Oh no.
Read it.
Salty Dwayne on Twitter asking for a friend who's too much of a coward to ask. Can
I've been
Miranda
that friend.
Can Miranda say poggers in Nagi's voice?
I've said that already in Nagi's. Okay, whatever.
Poggers. It's very poggers. Very cash money among us sussy baka poggers.
Oh my god!
Oh my
I
god.
hit them all. 3-point play.
That's it. What more do you want? Look at that. She did it. I don't know. What more do you want?
That was the grand slam of meme voice. That broke my brain.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't
Just thank
ask
God I didn't
me
say red pilled.
Oh god, no.
Miranda, I'd like to get some monetization on this podcast, please. I would
Red
like
pilled.
to. No, I'd like sponsors. I really do like money, man. Like,
You will never get the cash money with me around.
god damn it.
All right, I think it's time to enter that last phase that Ahmed is always confused by.
Here we
I'm
go.
always confused. Yeah, you go on, ask the question. Go on, do it, Neku.
Well, it's not that. It's Miranda. Do you have any questions for us?
What is your guys' favorite part about The World Ends With You? Like, it could be the fandom, it could be the, what and why.
She came prepared with a question.
I will say, ladies first. My.
For me, it's always been the story and just the message of the game to expand your world and to just meet more people and just be true, like be your best self. And it always just really stuck with me. And then there's also just like the even bigger morals where, Shiki's problems with her insecurities, and then, Beaten Rhymes like sibling bond and just wanting to be a good big brother and feeling like he was a failure. And so there's just like a lot there, and it just really stuck out to me, and really, I just felt really attached to it because it was very personal.
Yeah.
So sweet. I'm a sucker for a good story, and Neo: The World Ends With You. I mean, I don't really know a lot about the original game, but it had a really good story, and I'm just a sucker for a good story, so I understand why that would resonate with you.
I strongly suggest you play it. Strongly recommend it.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I gotta get back on my DS once I find my charger.
My answer is similar to Mai's, but I enjoy coming of age stories a lot. Watching someone grow from their adolescent, not so much innocent in this case, but a stage where they really need to learn, and watching that progression through the game, especially with Neku's story. I'm not going to spoil anything because you haven't played it. But he grows tremendously as a person. And I love seeing those coming of age stories just in general, because it's not an easy topic to tackle, especially over the years of developers getting away from those sort of stories, because they're like, we don't want to offend anybody. We just want to make super high fidelity graphics. And then you have games like Neo and TWEWY come around, and they're like, no, we're going to tackle these issues, and we're going to show you that you can grow past this and be an adult and be a better person.
No, that's great. Yeah, coming the Goonies and like It and like Stranger Things and, all sorts of stuff like that. And I think that coming of age stories are really important, especially for young people themselves. Like even adults obviously like can enjoy it, but for like a kid, like, if it came out in 2007, I would have been like 7. I would have loved that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's just really cool. And it's great that it impacted you in that way, like coming of age story in particular.
It's the reason why I use the name Neku literally everywhere, because it helped me. I had a very similar journey to him, not in the same circumstance, obviously, because I'm alive. But it was a very similar coming of age when I needed it. And I was very young when I played it, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ahmed? For me, so it's interesting, right? Because it's a two-parter for me. Like, one thing obviously is the game is awesome. I really enjoyed just the game for the game itself, and it's one of the unique games that I love both the story and the gameplay for. Like, I love the story originally, especially because it came in kind of a rough time in my life, because it came like a time in my life when I had just moved to Ireland, and like I didn't know anybody, and the culture shock was insane. Because I came to Ireland after like 8 years of living in in the Middle East. So like,
oh wow, that's got to be insane.
Oh, it was
yeah, culture shock. Oh my god.
I didn't have any friends. I was bullied all the time. See, like I keep saying this, but like, how I'm like not funny now? I was even less funny back then, and I was trying like way harder to be funny.
Oh, no, you're funny now. I'm sorry that you felt that way, though. That really sucks.
It was rough. But definitely the game like helped pick me up at a time like that. Just something to engross myself in.
Yeah.
But back then it was just something that I kind of enjoyed, right? Which it's obviously it's still put it as like one of my favorite games of all time. But like what solidified it as my favorite game of all time is creating the podcast, and is creating getting into the community, and is like just like feeling the love. Like I've gotten nothing but love from this community, basically. Like at every turn there's encouragement, and every time I mess up there's it's okay, don't worry about it, and just there's almost constant support from everybody. Like you just being totally cool coming on the podcast, Paul being totally cool coming on the podcast, every single guest, anybody, any of the patrons, any of the people in our Discord, just with with the constant positivity, all that, and just seeing like the community come together, that is what makes it from like top 3 favorite games to actually my favorite games of all time.
That's amazing. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I get to be a part of something this special to so many people. It makes me really happy. Yeah, that has got me through rough times in my life. And like to be a part of something like that has been that for other people, it just freaks me out. And it makes me really happy to know that I can even be a part of something this influential and impactful. It's kind of insane. And I'm just so glad that you guys feel that way about the game, the original game especially.
Of course. We love it. We love Neo. You are absolutely fantastic in it, and you're absolutely fantastic in this interview. Thank you very much, Miranda.
Oh, thank you guys for having me on. Zang.
No, I hope you enjoyed it. We absolutely loved it, from myself and from the chat, from all the wonderful denizens of the internet that are watching, whether they're watching on Twitch right now or they're watching later on YouTube or listening on Spotify. Thank you very much for coming on. You have been amazing. Where can people find Miranda Parkins in the future?
So my YouTube channel is Parkin Art, like my last name and then art. And so is my Instagram. So it's both Parkin Art. Obviously Pickled Plums is on Spotify under Miranda Parkin, but literally if you just search for Pickled Plums, that's like the only song that comes up on Spotify. So I'm glad I chose a unique name. So that, yeah, so YouTube, Instagram, and you guys already know my Twitter. My Twitter's there. Yeah, like, you know, hit me up, DM me if you have any questions. I'm totally open to answer. My DMs are dry as hell. But, you know, like, yeah, like just talk to me if you ever wanna chat or whatever. But yeah, like my YouTube channel and my Instagram the same, just Parkin Art. Yeah, and I'll be definitely doing more Comet Casino in the future. So I'll be making an Instagram page for that. So I'll post updates for that on my Instagram if you guys want to know about my pilot.
I can't wait to see more about it. I genuinely can't wait.
Yay.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'll definitely watching it whenever it does come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the animatic. I'm gonna get help with the animatic and actually go into a studio and do it. Yeah, I'm really excited. Woo.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I just hope. I can't wait for it to be funded and get that money it deserves. Speaking of money, I want to thank our patrons for, you know, I never miss a beat. These segues, I went to college.
That was amazing.
Segues.
That was so good. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
A+ segue.
Thank you. Thank you. I love how much you guys feed my ego sometimes. It's correct. Thank you, Willabun. Thank you, Xilra. Thank you, RSP. Thank you, Zetaslow, Shinkojin, Dark Dude. Thank you. Samasa Shipper, Krista Ventresca. Thank you. Kyle Turpey, Salty Dwayne, and new patrons, Brett Tendo and Slice of Delicious Life. Arigato gozaimasu.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the patrons of this lovely show.
There you go. And what
Please
more
give
do you
us
want?
more money.
Yeah.
I mean, give them more money.
I've kissed.
Give
I'll
them
you a
more
cut.
money, not me.
I'll give you a cut. Hold on.
No.
Time to send out a royalty cut.
No, none of that. Nagi does not desire for the monetary values of things. I am only paid in merch.
Does not.
I wonder if Elegant Strategy is a gacha, which means you have to spend money on it. That's
Oh
another.
my God,
that's
I
another
bet.
I imagine
hidden.
it would so be.
It would absolutely be like gotcha. That's so funny.
Imagine trying to pull like an S+ rank Tomonami and she's spending like thousands of dollars on it just
She
trying to get
would,
this stupid
though.
PNG.
She would.
Absolutely.
She'd be like, I need the outfit and I need the random outfit from the limited edition thing. And
It'd be so bad. It'd be so bad.
Next episode is next week, 25th of September. Yeah, this is like our fifth episode that we're doing in a row.
Kill me.
All right. And with that, farewell and take care, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Farewell and take care.
Have a good
I'll
night.
send you guys the audio ASAP. Where
thank
should I
you.
send it? Should I send it in an email?
We're still recording.